Car Junkies.
Hey everybody, welcome back. I'm Tommy T.
And I'm hobbitkrom.
Which you guys should already know by now.
Get it! I'm gonna turn you into Chinese food.
So we're going back on this hapatra thing. We're going a little bit different with it. What we call this one is hapatra in space.
In space! We're working on the sound effects guy. I'm sure Tommy will fix that later. Alright, Tommy, why don't you lead us off into land since we start off from the bottom and work our way up because we're midget.
Well, we're going to start off with about 10 forests.
Alright. We're going to go into 2 sanctums of ugin, which I'm sure most of you know what it does. If not, it's whenever you cast an Eldrazi spell. With a 7 mana or more, you may search your library for a colorless spell and put it into your hand. Pretty simple, basic. We run 2 of them because we have ideas about stuff and things and stuff. Much like my little Tonto knife here, which you can order from RDK. Or RDK. I can't remember without saying really deep penetration. And I'm like, oh yeah, that's actually going to get pretty deep. It's what, like 5-6 inches? 1, 2, 3, it's about 5, yeah.
5. The holster was made by BRK, BetsyRossKydex.com. Go and check him out. The knife was actually ordered and especially from RDP. So we'd like to thank them. Right.
It's sharp enough to where I can shave with Tommy, except that I don't know how to shave, so let's stay with that theme because I like my beard.
So back to the deck tech, we're also running 11 swamps. That's a total of 23 lands with the deck, primarily for the mana curve.
Right. As you can tell, I still love my old glory because that dog dick is good. But moving on to our 1-drops. There are none of them because I don't believe in 1-drops, apparently.
Not today.
But 2 drops.
Our 2 drops, we're running 4-channeler and
Alright, running 4-channel initiates. Alright. It's great because obviously we're talking about a hapatra deck. Channel initiate, it's 1 green, 1 colorless for a 3/4 that comes into play with 3 -1/-1 counters, which is really important later on in the deck tech for these changes we made. But it also tap it, remove it, add a mana of any color. Pretty useful. So moving on, we're going to move on to our 2 duskwatch recruiters. Recruiter.
See, we're both having trouble tonight, aren't we?
Fuck, Tommy. It's not a long day.
Too much trailer park boys, huh?
Yeah, too much of that shit.
My thoughts have feelings too.
My feelings have thoughts. So we're running this because we need to hit creatures. I needed to find a draw spell to kind of like progress us through the deck, find win cons, find things that we need to do about stuff and things and stuff.
Excuse me real quick, I need to go punch a cat.
Get it when you die! You know she's just gonna open that door, Tommy.
Yeah, it's okay.
Alright, Tommy, welcome back to the Car Junkie Show. My name is hobbitkrom, and I like to flex on my bitches. I mean you, but anyways.
That's fucked.
Boom!
That's fucked. At least I can reach shelves, bro.
Yeah, you know what else can reach shelves?
Bobby's mom. So we're going back to the deck tech. We're running 4 hapatra.
Alright, standard deck. Hapatra in space, so we have to run a hapatra. For those of you who don't know what hapatra does, or didn't watch our last deck tech, or ever play Amonkhet standard, hapatra is 1 green, 1 black for a 2/2 legendary human cleric. And what she does is whenever she deals damage to an opponent, she can put a -1/-1 counter on an opponent's creature. Or a creature in general. So if you want to do yours, you can. So you can always refuel your channel initiate if you feel the need to later on. When you put a -1/-1 counter on a creature, you get a snake.
Little snakies.
Right. And the snake also has death touch. Because they're much like the love of my life, which are hookers and blow.
Liquor and whores.
Right. Hell yeah. So there's that reason. So you can see the synergy between the Channel Initiate and hapatra. You play hapatra, play Channel Initiate. You not only get a mana dork, you also get a snake.
So moving on to our three drops, we're running 3 bontu.
Right. So the cool thing about bontu, he's a god, indestructible, 4/6 menace for 3, 2 colorless, 1 black. It can't attack or block unless you sacrifice a creature or lose a creature on your side of the field. So he has got the built-in ability to do so that your opponent loses life, you gain a life, you scry 1. But since we're making snakies, as you can see, we're going to be able to sacrifice the snake to utilize him more effectively, as well as a couple other spells later on that we'll get into.
We're moving on to 4 Nest of the Scarabs.
Which is exactly what I was talking to you about later, which I meant now.
Wait, this now?
More like this now.
Oh shit.
Get rid of that little pretty goatee of yours.
Can't grow a beard like you.
You have a different job than I do, and I want to stab myself. But yes, the scarabs. Whenever you put a -1/-1 counter on a creature, you get a black insect token, which is pretty fucking neat. But you don't get it for just putting -1/-1 counters. You get it for each -1/-1 counter. So now you gain super value with things like Channel Initiate, where you put it into play, get 3. So you get 3 -1/-1 counters on your Channel Initiate, so you get 3 scarabs. So there you go. Instant value and instant bontu food.
Boom.
Hell yeah.
Our last 3 drop were 1 manglehorn.
I like to run it in there just because in case you're running against Model Works deck, Marty vehicles, 90% of decks right now run artifacts, so you have to have some removal in there for it main board. Easily sideboarded out, doesn't take a lot of space, but I'd rather have the option in the deck to draw it or not to draw it, and it rounds at our 3-drop spot. Because, you know, it's about that curve.
That curve, better to need it and not have it than have it and not need it.
Sorry, that's what I'm thinking about. Anyways.
So, now to our 4 drops, we're running 4 bone pickers.
Alright, bone picker is stupid useful because it costs 4 for a 3/2 flying death touch. But if a creature died this turn, it costs 3 cards less to play. So that goes into, we'll go into why it's worth so much value later, with one of my favorite cards we've already gone over in one of our past deck techs. But great value. Flying has evasion, death touch, that shows people from attacking if you need defense. Solid card.
Next on our list, we're running 3 soulstingers.
Alright, so the cool thing about soulstinger is it comes in with 2 -1/-1 counters. Has great synergy with the Nest of Scarabs. Alright, kitty. I'm glad you found a bell.
She's a dick, bro.
Kitty, why you gotta do this to me? But, so you gain value off that. It's a 4/5. So it becomes, so when you put it into play, you want to put the -1 counters on itself. That way it becomes a 2/3. So you play that. When Soulstinger dies, you put that many -1/-1 counters on an opponent's creature. So when the cool combos inside the deck now is Channel Initiate onto Soulstinger. So when you do that, you put 3 counters more on him, so you're getting 3 counters from Nest of Scarabs. Then you put 5 counters on their creature, so you gain 8 scarabs total, while you gain 2 snakes. So you gain total 10 creatures if you have the full combo out. So you go hapatra, Nest, Soulstinger, Channel Initiate.
That sounds about a turn 5 kill right there. Especially for standard. What?
Right. It's not bad. It definitely puts a lot of board presence on there, allows us to go wide. Pretty fantastic. Really love the combo. Just something a little bit different than most people run.
Next, we're running 2 Tree of Perditions.
Alright, so Tree of Perditions, 0 for, 0. It's a 0/13 defender. But it's a 4-drop, which is the important part where we need it. I need to find a 4-drop that allowed us to extend the game, as well as...
Big ol' ass.
Dude, I do love my booty. But one of the best things is it extends the game and adds a huge blocker. But we needed to round out our 4-drop slot with something that allowed us to do so. It was important that we have a 4-drop, which we'll get to when we get into our later gameplay, which I'll explain at that point in time.
Next, we're gonna go to one of our split cards. It's the only one we're running in the deck, and it's never returned.
Right, which we've explained in our past decks. It's just a really solid removal spell right now. Allows us to hit anything we need to. In the last deck tech we did, actually explained that it was used to target planeswalkers mostly because we're weak against it. But in this deck, it's not necessarily just against planeswalkers. It's just a general great catch-all spell for us because we're in green-black and we don't have as many options as white does, like Castaway or things like that. So we're actually going to use Never Return in this fashion again.
Once again, we are running 4 of them. I don't know if I mentioned that.
Right. So
now to our big boys. Our 8-drop. We're running 4 of the Distended Mindbender.
Right. I know I've used this card before, and I'll use it again and again because I love insects, and he
has a lot of value on him.
Right. And so that's one of the reasons we're running so many 4-drops is it allows us to emerge into him. For hand control, it's a great sack outlet for soulstinger. Just great progression. I think emerge has been a lost art in Magic Standard since Almond Kit has come out and through Calendar. Because most people only focus on Elder Deep Fiend, but people forget that there's other cards that emerge that have great value. So with Descended Mindbender, if we happen to catch it before Marvel Works goes off, we can snatch Marvel Works and snatch an Ulamog out because it allows you to remove 2 cards. 1 converted mana cost 3 or less, or 1 3 or greater. So it hits a lot of things. Definitely allows us to get rid of some of our opponent's win cons on turn 5. If we need to. Say we have a Soulstinger out, or a Tree of Perditions we don't need, or a Bone Picker that we got out early because a creature died. It allows us to progress on into it early enough to have hand control. And hand control is a huge thing for me. I believe it's a lost art in Magic most of the time. I don't see it a lot anymore in standard or general gameplay. People mostly focus on board, but it's much easier to deal with the problem if you don't have to see it and their opponent can't draw a new version of it.
On to our last main board, it's a 10-drop, and it's 2 of the Decimator of Provinces.
I have been obsessed with this card, Tommy, for a while. Ever since I decided that I had to go mono green on paper for probably about 3 months because I thought mono green sucked.
And I had to prove it wrong.
And it still sucked for the most part. But it definitely added a lot to it. I have a sweet spot in my heart for warthogs. I have one tattooed on my forearm. If any videos you don't want to, curious, look me up on Facebook. If you want any more information, like us on Facebook and hit me up there under Card Junkies, same as our YouTube. But I do love Decimator Provinces because it allows you to overrun, or basically an overrun. It's all your creatures get +2/+2 and trample. This is why we run so many 4-drops in the deck. This is literally the reason why, because ramp math is all about looking at the next step, the next level into your curve. And so it emerges for 9.
A little pricey.
Right, but when you have 4-drops, you're able to sack the 4-drop and it costs 5. Now, but it does cost 3 green, so we have to have green mana available. But you have to think, though, that Channel Initiate adds green to your mana pool, so it helps you with that. And if you cast a Descended Mindbender early, you can use a Sanctum of Ugin to chain into it later on. That way you have multiple things that are huge, trampling at them for a game finisher. So it's a great all-game finisher. It's good to have 2 of in case you want to drop, or if you need to, you can always tutor it. Or if you discard it out of your hand, you can tutor it for it later. Whatever really happens, it's always important to run 2 of it. I just love it. It's a great budget card, great budget finisher. But the reason why this is called hapatra in space is that we run Eldrazi, which are giant space alien things as far as I can tell. Really don't know lore because I can't read.
So I was playing Final Fantasy the other day, and there's this mountain in there, bro, and I was just like, damn, there's a fucking Eldrazi coming out of that mountain. Now, if you guys are a Final Fantasy player, you'll know what I'm talking about as well.
Yeah, that one that took you an hour and a half, 2 hours to beat.
Yeah.
I sat here through and watched you.
Oh, no, that was the big old turtle.
That was the turtle?
There's a mountain behind him that has, like, Eldrazi arms coming out of it. I have to show you that one day.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know, I just remember the turtle when I about died of boredom. I think I had beer.
So we'll go ahead and move on to our sideboard. We're running 3 of the Lay of the Bear. Lay of the Heart is what I meant.
Lay bare to the heart.
Exactly.
I only know that because I memorized it, and well, like I said before, I think hand removal is a lost art. It's only ever been really used of late in standard with Transgress the Mind, which is kind of used here and there, but
I see a lot of value on that card, especially when you revolt.
Right.
Especially when you revolt.
Right. So, and then, of course, we're going to move on through a couple cards we've talked about before that are used in Mono Black Zombies. If you guys are a fan of Magic, you know what these cards do. Dispossess and Lost Legacy. Dispossess hits artifacts, you name it, get rid of it. Like things like Aetherworks Marvel, Heart of Kirin. Things that are constant problems that you face. Or, you know, for example, since we have no way to RFG Scrappy Scrounger, if we need to get rid of it, we can get rid of that. And then, you know, Mardu decks have a hard time crewing Heart of Kirin because it's a crew 3. Lost Legacy lets you hit other things. Like I said, Ulamog before in one of my other videos we've made. My videos, our videos. What the fuck's wrong with me?
It's alright, bro.
Goddamn work. All fucking with me and shit.
But we're running 3 of each of those.
Right. Those are just super important in our sideboard because it allows us to really jack with a lot of decks. I see myself when I do some of my test playing, I see myself doing a lot of Lost Legacy, just sideboarding in against general decks because they always have creatures that fuck with you, or enchantments, or anything else like that. Like I remember playing a mirror match. I actually, you know, used Lost Legacy against hapatra herself. Had to name her. Didn't remove mine, obviously, but it got rid of my opponents and allowed me to have a lot of advantage in that.
And then we're going to go ahead and move on to 2 Yahnni's Expertise.
Yahnni's Expertise, another card we've mentioned at some point in time before, but I do love it. And in playing it, I know people create arguments about a lot of things, but so for example, Yahnni's Expertise into a creature. Say you go into a channel initiate and you want to remove their creatures, and you have a nest of scarabs out, and you want to make a little mini army to start progressing your field forward as they have no field. It does work that way because the spell finishes casting, and then you now cast the next spell on its own. Complete different format. So if anybody has a question, have them look it up or play Magic Online.
Or post a comment below.
Right.
We'll answer it.
Right. If you have any questions about Magic or anything like that, we're more than willing to help you with that. But so you can chain it into certain things, and it's in there for mostly like Death and Taxes, servo decks, things like that I've played a lot against online while testing. We're gonna move on to 3 manglehorns. Big surprise, right? We have 1 main deck, 3 sideboarded. We've explained this before. Manglehorn's great against Marty vehicles, Aetherworks Marvel. It's one of our only real answers, main board, and we want to just finish out the playset in the sideboard.
We hate it.
Right. And then last but not least, we're going to run one last decimator of provinces in case we want to take out 1 mindbender and we just need to overrun our opponents because they can dump their hand as fast as we do. So mindbender loses value and decimator gains value.
Flip flop.
Right. Just a little bit of excess there. But yeah, that's hapatra in space. And I want to thank you guys again for coming out here and
Huge
watching
support.
us. I really love it. I really love this fucking knife. Some days I want to commit Sudoku. I mean, but this is a great knife.
It's well balanced. It's
It is.
super sharp.
Right.
We want to once again thanks RDP and BRK for the great quality sheath that they've made.
Right.
I stand 100% by their product. Thanks for visiting the Card Junkies. I'm Tommy T.
And I'm hobbitkrom.
Have a great day. We'll see you next time.